Hi everyone, Jackie here. Today I'm going to talk about sleep because sleep is a universal issue and something that if your child or you is struggling with is affecting most likely the entire family. Children who do not get enough sleep are more likely to be irritable, obviously more fatigued, they're less likely to follow instructions, and more likely to have poor academic performance, as well as more likely to engage in problem behavior. So if you have a kiddo who is engaging in meltdowns, tantrums, aggression, any type of problem behaviors are most likely to be amplified with a lack of sleep. So today I'm going to talk about a few strategies that you can use to help get your kiddo to sleep better. I'm also going to attach a basic sleep protocol to the Facebook page at facebook.com/valleybh. And this will elaborate on a lot of the strategies I'm going to talk about and act as a workbook for you that you can fill out each of the characteristics of your child, figure out when they should be going to sleep, waking up, and different strategies that you can personally use. So I'm going to jump right into it. And the first strategy that I'm going to talk about is getting the important time and duration of sleep for your child. So I have attached to that file a form that looks at the age of your child and tells you about how much sleep that they should be getting. So you're going to use that, and if your child should be sleeping based on their age for 10 hours and you want them to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, you are going to want them to be sleeping at 9 o'clock in the evening. So it gives you that basic information. So that's really what you need to get started, is to make sure that your child is getting enough sleep and not getting too much sleep. The second strategy is to make sure you are creating a sleep time routine and you're optimizing the bedroom and the space for sleep so that your child is more likely to fall asleep. Some things to consider are keeping activities that are high in energy or need the lights on, that require more movement at the beginning of your routine. So start an hour and a half before you're putting your child to sleep, engaging in a consistent routine that you can do every day, or most likely every day, because no one is 100% consistent, but as much as possible you can stick to, so that the child learns that that's the routine and this is what happens before we go to sleep. If you are giving them a bath time at night, you want that to occur early in the routine as well, because that can also be not conducive to getting them to sleep right away. Maybe a light snack can be helpful, and any calming activity, so reading a book, singing, whatever you do with your child at night, just keeping that consistent routine. Also, for the bedroom, you want to have no direct light. You want to make sure that it's a cooler temperature, that it's not too hot, and there's no excessive noise. Some people sleep really well with a sound machine. That's something that a lot of parents have found really helpful, to have that static noise. You can download an app on your iPhone as well that gives that static noise that can be really helpful. Also, any toys or activities that are really fun that the child really loves and prefers, you want those to be out of sight and not visible. If they're visible, the child may be more likely to get up and try to play with them or want to play with those different activities. So keeping those away can be really helpful also. The next thing I'm going to talk about is sleep dependencies. These are things that are present when you fall asleep. So for some of us, it may be the TV on, or kiddos might have a pacifier or a bottle or a blanket or a stuffed animal, or you who are present and there when they actually fall asleep. These are called sleep dependencies. And these are things that if they are not present whenever the child wakes up in the middle of the night, because kiddos do wake up very frequently throughout the night, they most often put themselves back to sleep, But if these sleep dependencies that were in place when your child went to sleep aren't there, when they wake up in the middle of the night, they may be less likely to fall right back asleep. So you want to try to optimize those and use ones that can be present throughout the night. So a pacifier, a blanket, things like that might be better than a bottle, or using mom to cuddle, things like that. The last thing that we're going to talk about is behaviors that might interfere with sleep. If you have a child who is not following instructions before bedtime, things like putting their PJs on or getting into bed, try putting their sleep time up a half hour. So moving their time up a half hour can help. They may be really irritable and tired and may just need to move their sleep time up a little bit. So if you're putting them to bed at 7:30, try putting them to bed at 7 instead. Also, if you have a kiddo who frequently calls out when they're just in bed or throughout the night, they want mom to come, or they want a glass of milk, or they want something that they just couldn't have asked for right before bed, but they really need it right now. So a snack or milk or just some extra cuddles. You may find it helpful to implement a bedtime pass. And this is where you can give the child, and it can take place in any form. It could be a piece of paper, it could be little tokens. You give them several of these passes each night, and once they use them, they're done. So you may start out with 2 or 3 a night that the child can use each night. And once they use it and they call out for you, then they lose that one, and they only have left what's left. And once they run out, then there's no more, they're not going to get mom to come or milk or whatever it is that they want. And you can slowly decrease these so that they get less and less throughout the night, so that eventually maybe they're only getting 3 per week or 2 per week, and they will actually tend to save them because they don't want to use them all up at once. So if you have a child who's calling out a lot when they get to bed, that is something that might be helpful in reducing that behavior. So those are the tips that I have for today, and like I said, there are a lot more tips and elaboration on that form on the Facebook page. Also, if you have a kid who's struggling with more severe issues or nightmares, night terrors, bedwetting, things like that that we didn't discuss, definitely consider getting a sleep assessment or a sleep consultation. That could be really helpful to get a more individualized plan that may be helpful for your child. Well, thanks, and I look forward to talking to you guys online.